This is Real Estate Today with Cindi and Jody on the Richardson Group, your real estate experts in Southeast Tennessee with more than 20 years of experience serving the Tennessee Valley. We're answering your questions about buying, selling, and investing. Call or text the studio at 267-1023. We're also live on the Richardson Group Facebook page. You can also reach us at our office at 790-7979 or online at rg423.com. Good morning, ladies. How are you doing today?
Hey, good. How are you?
We're doing well. So we got a little bit of housekeeping work we got to do. We got to let you guys know about a road closure in the area. Mount Olive Road in Dayton County between Vulcan Road and West Brow is currently closed. I don't know for how long, so just avoid the area until you think you can get through there.
Yes, yeah.
I always kind of want to do a traffic update.
Absolutely.
Very
I was going to say.
Go ahead and just do one. We already know.
You should. You should. Just hit
75's wide open. No traffic.
I was surprised.
Lots of debris from last night.
I was going to
Billboards
say.
everywhere.
Yeah, surprised as.
Power outages everywhere.
Absolutely. Yep. I was telling them my dog could literally sleep through anything. Never, ever, ever gives me an issue. And at 3:00, he was pawing me in the face. And when I woke up, I was like, do you need to go out? And he was just sitting there like, no, what in the world is going on? So lots of wind, limbs all over the road. But
the weather service called my phone at, 2 a.m. and then I think again at 3 a.m.
So moral of the story,
how
nobody
do I get off so they don't call me.
Yeah, nobody got a lot of sleep last night. And I think those of us that have lived here for some time have a little bit of PTSD left over from tornadoes. So anytime the wind gets too noisy, it makes me a little nervous. So, but glad everybody's safe. Glad everybody got here okay. And if you live on Mount Olive Road in Dayton County between Vulcan Road and West Brow, I'm surprised I don't know where that is. I've sold a lot over there. So if you live there, be careful. Maybe find an alternate route. Thank goodness it's Saturday, so hopefully you don't have to go to work.
And as you get out of bed this morning, go ahead and walk around your house, look for shingles.
Yeah, we wouldn't be doing our job if we didn't tell you to make sure everything's shored up.
And we'll get into that later this morning, too. Just things you need to kind of check up on today and everything like that to get you ready to go.
Mm-hmm. So tell us about today's show, Jack. Which direction we going?
It's been a busy week. We've had a lot going on. I know we have kind of run wide open all week long. We had a couple of things happen out in the world outside of our regular office. The Fed met this past week. And in the aftermath of everything that went on with the three banks that ended up going into closure and things like that, everybody kind of was up in the air of what the Fed was going to do. Were they going to kind of slow down and pump the brakes and not do an increase, do a small increase, or continue at the half point? So they ended up doing a quarter basis point jump, which is kind of what most people figured they would do. They didn't figure they would kind of pump the brakes.
Explain what that means. That doesn't necessarily affect mortgage
Correct.
interest
That
rates.
does not mean that affected mortgage rates because we did see last month, last month or the month before last when they met? February when they met, they increased 0.5%, but mortgage rates did not move at all, correct?
Yes.
And then with that 1/4 point, we actually saw interest rates pull back a little bit.
And I mean, the fact of the matter is it's very much a wait and see. Let's do something, see what the reaction of the market is, reevaluate, do it again. So
I think their whole goal is to get inflation around 2%.
Yep.
So I think the last report said 6%. So I think now they're just tapping a little bit. But I think that the bank closures was a little alarming for people and made you really sit back and look at how mortgage rates affect the banks.
And I mean, sadly, people don't get all of the information. News outlets tend to report the bad, and all that you hear is, the Fed met and they raised rates. Well, people automatically assume that means your mortgage rate is going up.
That is the short-term bond rate.
Yeah, absolutely. So it does affect mortgages, but doesn't necessarily mean that you're looking at a higher rate.
What does that mean to mortgage companies?
So for mortgage companies, their mortgages are more tied to the bond market than they are to the actual Fed fund rate when they come out and they actually raise rates, things like that. So as the bond market fluctuates, that's normally when you see markets. Because actually our last peak for mortgage rates was May 9th, right before everything happened with Silicon Valley. They went up to, I think 6.7 is kind of where they ended according to Freddie Mac. We've actually dropped steadily since then, week over week, and actually came out this past week, we're down to 6.5.
Yeah, well, on an
That's on a 30-year fix.
On an
FHA was down to
30 years, 5.75 on an FHA. So that's wonderful.
And if you're not familiar, an FHA is just a government-insured loan typically with a lower down payment
And
than a
it's
conventional loan.
It's not a first-time home buyer. It's not a repeat buyer. You can be any of those. It is just a government-backed loan.
Yeah. So smaller down payment, less money out of your pocket, 5.75. How long has it been since we've heard sub 6 interest rates? So that is huge news. But it also leaves a lot of unanswered questions. So if you're on the fence, one of the main questions that I get asked on a daily basis is when? When should I buy now? Should I wait? I'm waiting on interest rates to drop. I'm waiting till the market crashes. Those are things
I'm waiting
we hear
till
all the
home
time.
values come down. And Jack ran some numbers because home prices are not coming down. I mean, even with interest rates going up and inflation getting under control, we still have a housing shortage. So we do still, and especially in certain price ranges, if you are below the median price range, there is still a huge shortage of homes. So, Jack, what did our numbers look like?
So we came in, we looked January and February this past year. I don't have March data yet. I won't have that for another couple of weeks. So January 2022, our average sale price for Hamilton County was $400,747. January 23 was up to $414,813, which is up 3.5%.
Yeah, so we still had an appreciation year over year of 3.5%, which is actually great. 3.5% brings us back to
reality,
back to normal days. We're not seeing anywhere between 10 and 20% appreciation, which we have for the last few years. So prior to all of this craziness appreciation, we actually would tell people in a normal market you could expect to see 3 to 5% appreciation per year. So 3.5% appreciation actually is a good, healthy number.
And that's a good indicator if you're a buyer. So you're buying in a market where someone just hasn't had 20% appreciation. So you're buying at a house that's steadily in a normal inflation rate. So the likelihood of you being able to sell in a couple years and quote unquote get your money back is much better there than in an unstable environment. So that's not a bad thing.
Well, here's the thing. It doesn't matter. Even if prices were to back up a little bit, if you're not selling, it doesn't matter.
And in this area, we're still way below the national median.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And let me say again, we are not depreciating in this area. We're not seeing prices go back. But if for some reason that should happen, it's only going to affect you if you go to sell and you have bought in the last 2 years. Well, actually, probably 2.5 years. Anything prior to that, of course, you're still going to have really good appreciation. So right now, unless you have bought within the last, year and you're trying to resell, you are probably still sitting on pretty good equity.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the big thing is we saw it all across the pandemic years, 2020, 21, 22. First half of 22, we saw this massive skyrocket of home prices. And then for 2022, here came the Fed hike, so the interest rates went up. So what are some of the things that, and you kind of hit on, what are the things we need to consider when you're actually getting ready to sell? And I think you kind of hit the nail on the head is, where's your equity at? If you don't own a home, you don't have anything that's building equity.
Right.
If you buy, that's where your equity starts. So,
everybody wants to sell high, buy low, but the reality is that if you're buying and selling at the same time, you can't buy high or buy low and sell high. You just can't.
That's always a good education for people.
It's a very good balancing act. And right now is a good time because we're not seeing as much multiple bids. Now, don't get me wrong, we still are seeing multiple bids. You still have to come in very strong if you are below the medium price range. But we're not seeing it as much as we were. But with interest rates at 5.75, if they dip down below 5, I think that we're going to see that market break wide open again.
Go back to that same insanity because everybody that's been sitting and waiting, I think, is going to knee jerk at that point. And we've discussed it many times. Typically, if your interest rate drops at least 1%, it's worth a refinance. And I know lots of lenders now are offering programs where you can refinance for little to no fees. And that's a big deal. So let's say you are under contract right now at a 5.75 interest rate, which is really good compared to where we've been. Interest rates get below 5. You got the house you wanted. You weren't in a situation where you were bidding against 15 people and you felt like you overpaid. So you're in it good. You have some equity. You always have the potential to refinance if that interest rate goes up, but you're not
But you're not bidding over asking price or getting over appraised value for a home, and you're not waiving your inspections and things. So, it's kind of a give and take.
And heaven forbid if interest rates go back up, your sub-6 interest rate, which 3-4 months ago we would have died for. So just important to keep it in perspective. And like Cindi said, people are always going to move. People are always going to buy. People are always going to sell. We survived the quote-unquote crash, and we were still buying and selling houses at that point. So it's really situation dependent.
Yeah. And I don't think inventory levels are going to stay low for a while, especially when you have people as they're aging out of homes or their stage of life is changing and they need to downsize. A lot of people are going to choose not to, because if they did get in at those 3% interest rates or below 3, then it's not beneficial for them to downsize and go into something smaller and still have the same amount of debt that they have now. So we're not going to see a lot of those homes hitting the market again for a while.
Yeah, I think the big thing Jody kind of hit is, what is your stage of life? What's your need? That's going to be a big determinant. Do you have to sell now?
Right.
And if you do, that does, obviously affect your situation. But like Cindi said, if you're selling in a market where, if we've said it once, we've said it a million times, there's something to be said for being the only one in your price range. Yeah. So it's not a bad thing. And I think we're about to start to see that spring uptick.
Market.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
I was at a house this week in a subdivision that traditionally has at least probably 3 to 4 homes on the market at any given time, and there was nothing on the market. Absolutely nothing. In one neighboring subdivision, there was like 1 on the market, and I told the owner, I was like, you need to be on the market in the next couple of weeks so that you don't get lost in that rush of homes coming on in the spring.
Especially if you're in a rural area right now. That seems to be an area that may be typically a more difficult sell because you're not close. People are going out to be able to find what it is that they're looking for. So
yeah, and I think right now, even now more so, we're seeing rural is starting to have an uptick in popularity, especially for the people that I've dealt with and spoke with over the last month. Everybody wants to be, I want to be
not on top of their neighbors,
but I want to be out and about in a smaller area. Yeah. So I think that's a big swing on that side right there. So guys, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk more about answering the question, is it a good time to buy? This is Real Estate Today with Cindi and Jody on Talk Radio 102.3.
After filling up with hours of information online, on air, on demand, and on topic, now it's your turn to talk. Reaction to stories big and small, universal and local. Here, 102.3 FM, WGOW.com.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran. In Chattanooga, the agent I trust is Cindi Richardson. Her personalized marketing plan attracts more buyers and sells more homes for more money. Get the best marketing for your home. Go to RG423.com and put more money in your pocket. Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran. I built the #1 brokerage firm in New York City by marketing luxury homes to the most qualified buyers. What makes the difference today in your area? The same thing. Custom marketing to the right buyers. In Chattanooga, the agent I trust is Cindi Richardson. Her personalized marketing plan attracts more buyers and sells more homes for more money. She can even give you an instant offer. Get the best marketing for your home. Go to RG423.com and put more money in your pocket.
Honey, come here, quick.
What is it?
Shh, check it out. All these highly rated wines are under $20. Total Wine must have made a mistake.
Nope, they always have the lowest prices. Oh, remember that amazing rosé your sister brought over last week? See, it's right here.
Whoa, that's a low price. I mean, whoa, that's a low price.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly. B21.
You want your house sold for top dollar? The Richardson Group Keller Williams, Cindi Richardson's team will get it done for you. Each Keller Williams office is independently owned and operated. Google Richardson Group. That's Richardson Group. and start packing.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran. I built the #1 brokerage firm in New York City by marketing luxury homes to the most qualified buyers. What makes the difference today in your area? The same thing. Custom marketing to the right buyers. In Chattanooga, the agent I trust is Cindi Richardson. Her personalized marketing plan attracts more buyers and sells more homes for more money. She can even give you an instant offer. Get the best marketing for your home. Go to rg423.com and put more money in your pocket.
Hello there. My name is Seychelle, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is the punch of flavors that's unlike any other. You get the crispy tenderness of the chicken and that hint of sourness from the pickles. Ta-da!
Hey, I'm Juan, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is you're going to get chicken that's crispy, golden, and juicy. This is the gold standard of chicken sandwiches.
Order the original Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real customers paid for their testimonials.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 50 features.
Ooma?
Yep, switching to Ooma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Find small business calm at ooma.com/radio. That's OOMA.com/radio.
Talk Radio 102.3.
Real Estate Today with Cindi and Jody is presented by Offers Instantly. Not all guaranteed offers are created equal. Take advantage of Offers Instantly to get the best guaranteed offer on your home in 24 hours with no showings, repairs, and best of all, no problems. Go online to offersinstantly.com or call 205-INFO for more details. Each Keller Williams office is independently owned and operated. Everybody, welcome back to Real Estate Today with Cindi and Jody. Love to be able to take your questions today. Call or text at the studio 267-1023, or you can reach out to us on the Richardson Group Facebook page.
I realized I just slacked on my job there.
I'll let you do the next one. That's okay.
I'm the queen of ADD. I wasn't paying attention at all, so I'm glad Jack was. I was distracted by Jesse's dance moves in here.
I can't take a risk on you trying to put headphones in and read something at the same time.
I'm doing the best I can. Just make sure my headphones are in, right?
Yeah.
We started the show with no headphones in. I was like, why can't I hear anything? I'm losing my mind. I'm telling you.
Guys, when we walked away, we were talking about, is it a good time to buy? Should you buy now or should you wait for things to change?
One thing that we talked about during the break just a little bit is one of the things that we're starting to see again, which is exciting to us, is new construction is picking back up. So for the last, I would say probably year at least, maybe longer, land has been a little stagnant, unless you had just a really developable piece or something right in the middle of town that a big name builder could come in and build a subdivision. Beyond that, just vacant lots were hard. And what were some of the reasons that was?
Well, because building materials, everything had gotten so expensive, it was hard to get your subcontractors to come out and do work. So the time frame of building was very unpredictable, and the availability of materials.
Well, for a while, it was like, how much does an OSB board cost? I know that was kind of the indicator.
And lumber. Now, there are still some items that are expensive, but with inflation getting under control, you are seeing people start to break ground. I broke ground here within the last month.
And supply chain issues were such a problem, too.
Yes.
We would have a builder that would finish a home, and then we would have to wait another 8 weeks for windows. Once the house was literally finished, they were just waiting on windows and trim work. So that's hard when you're a buyer who is contracting out to a builder to build your home. The good news is those building materials are starting to come down.
Yes. Yeah. And there's a whole lot of workarounds now. After we went through all that, a lot of the suppliers stocked up on like windows on the most popular colors. Your whites.
Appliances, things like that.
Yes. It's not difficult to get anymore. So that has made building materials and building homes more feasible right now.
And what is the difference? I know we talked about interest rate a lot in the beginning of the show. If I'm going to buy bare land versus a home,
now,
what does that typically
Not
be?
all lenders will finance just land. So do know that. But typically, land is going to, if you finance just the land, not a construction loan, but just land because you want to get it paid down or paid off before you break ground, your land interest rate is going to be a little bit higher. I priced it out a couple of weeks ago. I've not done it recently, but
I did. It was over. My last one was over 8%.
Yeah,
and that was someone with excellent credit.
Yeah.
So, but that is normal. I think they were shocked when they heard that, and that's really because, the risk to the lender, and you're typically talking about a much lower sales price than a home. Obviously, for most just residential building lots. If you're looking for that, call us. You can call or text us during the show, or 423-790-7979, and we will get you in touch with a lender that will finance fair land.
There are a couple of lenders here that are excellent at financing land only. So depending on how large of a tract, if it's just a lot in a certain subdivision, we might recommend one bank. But then if it's over 5 acres, we may recommend somebody else. It just depends on what you're looking at.
Yeah. The other thing too, we just reached out to Angel Sherlin at CMG Financial. You guys have heard her on the show before. VA loans right now are locked in. She said she just locked in a client at 5.25 on a VA loan. That is by far the lowest interest rate that I've heard in a year.
Yeah.
So that's big. Just know that there are lots of options. We've said it. If we've said it once, we've said it a million times. The best thing you can do is get your lending in order before you pull the trigger so that you know where you stand. And a lot of times we can save you a lot of money if you choose the right program. So if I'm thinking about, should I buy a house now? Jack, Cindy, either of you guys jump in here. What are some questions that I should ask myself and that I need to be able to say yes to know that I'm ready to go now?
I think one of the first things that we need to do is get you with a lender so that you will know what you qualify for, how much money you're comfortable with borrowing, and where your credit score and debt ratios, where you're at. If your credit score is somewhere close to one of the markers that's going to affect your interest rate, then you may want to do a little bit of credit repair and get it up a little bit. And even if your credit score is excellent, but you can get it up a point or two and get a slightly lower interest rate.
Sometimes it's something tiny that we don't, people just assume, I'm going to pay all my credit cards off and then my credit score will go up. And a lender can be very specific, tell you to do this, not do this, pay half of that. Give this 3 more weeks until the next cycle rolls around. So it's best to just know where you stand straight out of the gate.
Yeah, I think you can kind of get into trouble too. What may be best for you is not what you think is best. So if you come in and just completely, take a wrecking ball to your credit card debt and pay everything off,
actually lowers your score at first.
That could actually have an adverse effect.
Yep.
On the initial upfront side.
Yeah. So if you're going to do something like that, talk to a lender first so they can let you know which ones to pay off and which ones just to get down below a certain percent.
So another question that I hear a lot and that I think a buyer needs to ask themselves is, do I need a down payment? And if I do, am I in a situation where I can do that? So can you borrow your down payment from somebody? Do people need to have a lot of money to put down?
Again, this is where a lender comes in, and they're going to be able to answer those questions. There's a lot of programs out there for if you're a first-time home buyer that are 100% financing that are excellent interest rates. FHA, which is the one that's at 5.5 today, that is 3.5% down. And you can't borrow your down payment, but there are programs that you can get a grant for your down payment, or you can get a gift from a relative. So there are options on your down payments.
Absolutely. And I lost my train of thought. we were talking, down payments. Like Cindy said, there are, lots of different options out there.
I think a lot of people, older generations, are going to tell you that you need 20% down to put down, and that is just not the case. There are some first-time home buyer programs that have better interest rate than conventional loans right now.
I know what I was going to say. It just came back to me. It's important to know that a first-time home buyer doesn't always mean that you've never owned a home either.
Again, it's the government.
Limits.
There's a definition.
So it may be that you haven't owned a home in 3 years. There are some time limits. So
if you have not been on a deed in 3 years, then you are considered a first-time home buyer again.
And that there are lots of intricate details where, again, let a lender look at your specific situation, and they're going to comb through that with you and let you know what the best options for you are. So I think people assume I've owned a house before, I don't qualify. You may very well.
Yeah, and I think when you talk down payment, it's kind of twofold. Is do you have the cash reserves to pay the down payment, but do you have some cash reserves outside of that?
Closing costs, things that happen.
Closing costs, just banks like to see cash in bank. If they're lending, because it's kind of a risk assessment. If you don't have some cash reserves to handle upkeep, major expenses that may come down the pipe, that tends to throw things off when they actually go through and do your financial review.
Yeah, so, and Angel just said on the Facebook page too that I think USDA, which is 100% financing.
Now, USDA loans are typically, or I think always, address specific. So the property address needs to fit within the criteria of that. Again, that's why you need a realtor. That's why you need a lender, so that we can make sure you're looking at what fits your needs. But 5.25% for USDA, I think THDA.
And that is a 100% program.
Yeah, 5.875. So really, really good options. And that's exciting. You've heard Cindy and I especially say, 6% is kind of statistically the marker for a healthy market. Anytime below 6%, you're going to see a lot of activity uptick because a lot of people have more options. They have more buying power.
You've got interest rates getting more reasonable. I mean, they're good, and especially compared to where we have been over the last year, because it is this month a year ago, I think, that we took our first interest rate hike. So interest rates are good. We're going into our spring season, which is our busy season, and inventory levels are still low, even though they are improved from our lows of 2021. Inventory levels are better, but still not great. So now is an excellent time to buy before everybody starts. You start seeing that flood of buyers back on the market.
It's still a good time to sell. I mean, it really is, because buyers have more buying power, but sellers still have a lot of leverage because we don't have a lot of inventory. So it's really ideal for both parties right now.
Right.
Really, really kind of is the perfect storm for everybody involved. And also, if you're in a situation where you paid 7% interest, now might be a time to reach back out to that lender to talk about refinancing options, depending on how long you've been in your property.
Take what your closing costs are going to be divided by your savings monthly, so that you see exactly how long you need to stay in that house to recoup your closing cost. And if it's not something you plan on keeping long term, then you may not want to do that. But if you're going to recoup your cost within 12 or 24 months, it might be worth doing it if you know that you're not moving or going anywhere.
Or maybe you were lucky enough to get into one of those lending programs where they had a interest rate. If the interest rate floats down to a certain point, you can refinance with no cost to you. So maybe just worth a check-in. If you've bought any time in the last 2 years, worth a check-in with your lender, with your realtor.
And I'm just going to throw out there, too, after all the rain we've had recently, now's an excellent time to look at homes. If there is going to be any type of water issues, now is the time to look. There's no hiding any water issues right now.
On the other side of that as well, also important to realize that when it's really wet, things are wet. So really, more than now, you need to wait till it dries a couple days and see what that looks like. So if you've still got a pond in the front yard, maybe have some issues.
Oh, yeah. So, guys, we're going to step away and take another quick break. When we come back on Real Estate here with Cindi Jody, we're going to talk more about some of the things regarding is it a good time to buy, and then actually kind of recovering and getting ready for spring. This is Real Estate Today with Cindi and Jody on Talk Radio 102.3.
WGOW. Keeping the stupid out of the story.
It's actually mind-boggling.
Talk Radio 102.3, WGOW FM.
Wouldn't you say it's time for a beauty refresh? Lucky for you, Ulta Beauty's 21 Days of Beauty is happening now. So treat yourself with up to 50% off bestsellers like Benefit Cosmetics and MAC Cosmetics. And say hello to new product launches from Fenty Beauty by Rihanna, Tarte Cosmetics, and so many more. That new you feeling is waiting at Ulta Beauty. But hurry, Beauty's biggest event ends April 1st. Shop in-store, online, or try curbside pickup today. Ulta Beauty. The possibilities are beautiful.
Dr. Rick here. If you find yourself getting particular about where you get the weather, you may be turning into your parents.
Looks like it might rain. Let's see what Corey from Channel 2 has to say. He's something else. I like him better than Harris from Channel 5.
You could just look up the weather on your phone.
I like Corey from Channel 2.
Progressive can't help you from becoming your parents, but we can help you compare rates on home insurance with Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Josh, quote, "After walking around my whole life being a mouth breather, I was excited to try Navage. I read the directions carefully, pressed the button, and oh my gosh, what a sensation. So much mucus, so much crud, but oh sweet, merciful air, I can finally breathe you through my nose. Never have I ever taken such an amazing breath in my life. This is a life changer," unquote. He's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, Navage, clean nose, healthy life.
Selling your home? If you just want it listed, you can call any agent. If you want it sold, call Cindi Richardson. Cindi runs the Richardson Group Keller Williams, which I'm sure you know by now. Who doesn't? And of course, each Keller Williams office is independently owned and operated. Cindy's the one I would trust if I were selling my house. They will put together an individual marketing plan for you that will give you assurance that the offer you're holding is the best offer you can or will get. And what I really like is the way they develop an individual marketing plan for you, so it isn't just sell your home and see what happens, but also helps you find your next home so you don't end up homeless. The Richardson Group's marketing system is on a whole different level than the average agent. Oh, and I need to mention this because it's important to so many. Cindi can give you an immediate cash offer for your home, so you don't have to worry about fix-ups or showings or anything if you want to go that route. Find him at rg423.com or just Google Richardson Group. That's Richardson Group. And start packing.
Paid for by government.com.
The 1878 to 1921 Morgan Silver Dollar, a true American classic and one of the most iconic silver dollar coins in history. It's been 100 years since the last Morgan Silver Dollar coin was struck for circulation. And now, for a limited time only, full pound bags of original U.S. government struck Morgan dollars are being released to the public. That's right, you can own a full pound of 1878 to 1921 classic American Morgan Silver Dollar coins, all in very good collector condition with fully visible dates and mint marks, guaranteed. Call 1-800-863-7267 now to secure collector-grade U.S. Morgan silver dollars by the pound, struck during the Wild West and the Gilded Age. Plus, receive a bonus American Collector's Pack valued at over $25, free with every order. Call 1-800-863-7267 now to secure your full pound bag of Morgan silver dollar coins before they are gone. 1-800-863-7267. That's 1-800-863-7267.
Talk Radio 102.3.
Hey, welcome back to Real Estate Today with Cindi and Jody. Get your real estate questions answered on the air. Call or text the studio at 267-1023. We're also answering questions live on the Richardson Group Facebook page. So we were talking about, is it a good time to buy? And it happens to be spring. So we're still in our spring market. And what are some things we need to do to get ready for spring?
Cindi, what you got?
Well,
I'm staring at you like,
of course, if you're thinking of selling, you want to go ahead and start with the exterior of your home. So go ahead and start getting everything ready. Do a good cleaning of the exterior of the house. You want to do some pressure washing, get your flower beds in check.
I think, we always, I don't know about you guys, but growing up, my grandma, she would just go on this spring cleaning rampage, open all the windows, wash all the window screens, every linen in the entire house. She always wanted to air the house out. I remember that growing up. My mom did that as well. But it's important, I think, especially from a buying and selling market, to worry about the outside of your home. Do you need to pressure wash? Almost always. I will tell you, yes, you do. How often do we walk around our entire house and look? So Is it a good time to do the siding? I know this weekend we're pressure washing all of the decking around the pool and the retaining wall, and because it is disgusting after winter.
Yeah, and if you're pressure washing yourself, just be careful, like on wood, that you're not hitting it so hard that
peeling
you're taking,
paint off. Yeah,
well, and taking the meat out of the wood so that it makes it less dense. So be very careful. And then also, as you're washing the house, do not hit your windows with a pressure washer. So a lot of times, this is where you want to bring a professional in.
Be careful with siding too.
Yeah, so you don't damage your house.
So they sell different nozzle kits for these things, and I had a sale a couple of years ago to where we got in it, and they had the house pressure washed professionally before it went on the market, and they blew the seals out of this giant 8x10 window that was in the upstairs portion of the house. They just completely destroyed all the seals.
The
it leaked like a colander.
Yeah, if you look out a window and it looks like it's dirty, like it has a fog in between the panes, that means that the gases in between the panes have leaked out, and it's cosmetically it's an issue, but also that affects your R rating, because those gases are what helps regulate the temperature between inside and outside. So just know that busted seals, you are at the life expectancy of those windows. It's time to replace them or do something with them. We used to have a company here locally that would come back in and replace those gases, but I don't think they're around anymore.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in years. I actually have a listing right now that has a new roof because they decided they were going to pressure wash the roof. And it had cedar shake, and literally they blew holes in all of the.
Yeah,
and the same thing will happen with asphalt. If you're quote unquote cleaning it, but you're taking all of the grit off, you've just damaged your roof, and your homeowner's insurance isn't going to cover that if you did it with a pressure washer.
If you're doing it yourself, just be careful. And like Jack said, do it on the low setting. I know my pressure washer, which is not real strong, is actually the lowest setting with the nozzle is at a rate that I can actually wash my car with it. I mean, it's not high at all. So I feel comfortable getting out there doing that. But anything you're doing high, you want to have a professional, not only a professional, make sure they are licensed and insured.
Yes, so when they blow a hole in your roof, it's fixed.
Yes.
Yeah, so drainage issues, it's a big time to, clean
Check your gutters.
Yeah. Again, growing up, that was something, I dreaded every year because my dad would make me climb on the roof with him and clean out the gutters, Even if you have gutter guards, a lot of times all that debris will sit on top of the gutter guard. And if it's not draining the way it's supposed to, you can cause foundational issues, basement issues, crawl space issues. So, just the clearing out, kind of the spring cleaning. It's also a good time to check for bugs and pests.
I saw somebody post the other day, one of the inspectors post about it's one of the bees, the carpenter bees. Yes, because I know we get them at the office. They love those cedar posts that have been so popular putting on the front of the house. It's that time of year where you're going to see a whole lot of carpenter bees coming out.
Yeah, and if you have a wood sidinged house, actually, if your house is anything except vinyl or brick or stone, have someone look. Have your pest control person check for carpenter bees, fill those holes, treat them so that you're not running into that anymore, because major damage, not only cosmetically but structurally as well. So I've had a logged siding house before where they bored all the way into the house. They were coming in the living room.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So you want to make sure that you're correcting that, handling it, but you're also repairing the damage that they've done. Pests, rodents, now is the time that it's starting to get warm. I know ants. My goodness, at the office,
ants and ladybugs.
Never ending. It's exciting because it means spring is coming. Things are going to warm up, but now's the time you need to address that, and also where they're coming in and out of. Siding.
Siding is a good thing. I think it's a good time to check your crawl space too.
Yep.
You haven't looked at it all winter long. It's time to get in and see, do you have drainage issues? Today's a perfect day to go check as much rain as we had. Check in your crawl space, see if there's actually water in it.
Yep.
Look for damage to vapor barrier. Does that need to be replaced? Are you seeing evidence of having a pest or something? I know my grandparents' house actually had a skunk get in it one spring and sprayed.
He was living his best life. Yeah.
Yeah, he was living his best life. They were not for about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because it took that long to fumigate the house.
And those are, you don't want to wait till you have a problem. You don't want to wait till someone has a home inspection. And I always tell sellers, these are things that you would address even if you weren't selling your house. These are big things.
These are maintenance things.
Yeah.
These are things you should be
that
doing
start
every year.
little, and turn into huge problems. So you want to just get in the habit of once a year, you're checking it. You're having professionals check things like your HVAC and your duct work, and having, someone climb on your roof and check your gutters if you're not able to do that.
Now's a good time to have your
yourself.
central heat and air serviced, because you don't have tons of people calling them. When we start hitting really high temperatures for the first time, anybody's unit that needs to be serviced and not working properly, that's when they're all going to be calling the central heat and air people. Now's a good time to get them out to your house and service and inspect your unit so that you can make sure you're not calling them during the peak.
And I'm guilty of that myself.
Oh, that's right.
I got a electric bill that was about $400 more than I expected it to be, and there was nothing outwardly that would make me think that. The thermostat was on correct. Nothing was on auxiliary. I had a little fried wire. So essentially my heating unit was running behind the scenes all the time. So the air conditioning unit was trying to override it, would cool my house down, and then the heater would heat it back up. And then my air conditioner would cool it back down. The heater would, the electric company loved that. So if you're in the habit of having someone check it, hopefully you're in a situation where you're not getting a giant bill, or if you're not living in the home full time, if it's a second home, if you're getting it ready for the spring season, those are things that you need to do on a yearly basis just to make sure that it's not too late.
And having something like a smart thermostat that's operating correctly is something that can catch what happened to you, Jody. So, because you are watching it on your phone and it is showing you the daily use, and you would have seen that it had a substantial increase in usage.
Well,
so,
and I have an alert from the utility company. So even if you don't have a smart system, you can set up for alerts so that if you use over a certain kilowattage, it lets you know that
I didn't know that.
Something's up. Yeah, so now I get a text message. I get a little amber alert that says something's up with your HVAC unit. So
you're paying us more money than you
do. Cracks, changes, a good habit or an extra benefit, I guess, of doing it on a yearly basis is, does something look different than the year before? Are you noting a difference? Because how often do you really walk around your house, check the siding, crawl in the crawl space? How often do we hear from sellers, oh, I didn't know that was there. I didn't know that was happening. So settlement cracks can be normal, but they can also be indicative of a bigger problem.
And if you have a sunk pump, it's probably a good time to make sure that it's operating.
It's working.
So if it's not kicking on right now after all the rain we've had recently, check it. Make sure that it's actually operating.
And a lot of times it's just something, the sensor arm is not working, or the filter's clogged, or something of that sort. And how many times have we walked into a house with a sump pump and you're standing in ankle deep water? And it works, just needs to be serviced.
And there's nothing more unnerving than walking around the house and watching frogs go off the diving board into your crawl space.
Yes, no, not fun. And unfortunately, we've seen that. So this is a pretty given, but landscaping, now is really when you want to address it, whether you're getting ready to put it on the market or just for your own enjoyment. But we've talked before, landscaping is a huge culprit of drainage issues. If you install it and don't do anything with it for months and months and months, and water's going towards your house instead of away, if you have, vegetation growing up the brick wall, things of that.
Or if you have any trees that need to be trimmed, if you have any branches that are hanging over your roof or rubbing your roof or touching your house, you need to cut those back.
And when you get ready to sell, insurance, appraisal, all of those people are going to require that you don't have vegetation against your property. So just important things to do.
And even if you're not going to sell, it's going to give you longevity for your roof and things. You don't need that hanging over. It will cause mold and mildew on your roof. It can rub it. It can fall and hit it. There's just too much that can happen.
All right, guys, we're going to step away and take our last break of the morning. When we come back, we're going to talk more about getting you ready for spring. This is Real Estate Today with Cindi and Jody on Talk Radio 102.3.
Where Chattanooga comes to talk.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome.
Talk Radio 102.3 FM.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran. I built the #1 brokerage firm in New York City by marketing luxury homes to the most qualified buyers. What makes the difference today in your area? The same thing, custom marketing to the right buyers. In Chattanooga, the agent I trust is Cindi Richardson. Her personalized marketing plan attracts more buyers and sells more homes for more money. She can even give you an instant offer. Get the best marketing for your home. Go to rg423.com and put more money in your pocket.
Is your home's title still in your name? What would you do if you discovered you're the victim of a home title theft and that the one document that proves you own your home is no longer in your name? With Home Title Lock's free lookup service, you can verify your home is still safely in your name. Thieves can now discover the title to your home online. They simply forge your signature on a transfer document stating you sold your home to them. Then they take out loans on your home or sell it to some unsuspecting buyer. Homeowners insurance and common identity theft programs do not protect you. Home Title Lock does. Home Title Lock puts a virtual shield around your home's title to help keep criminals away. First things first, verify your home's title is still in your name with Home Title Lock's free lookup service. There's no obligation. It's absolutely free. Then register your address for 30 free days of protection. Visit HomeTitleLock.com/free. HomeTitleLock.com/free.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran. I built the #1 brokerage firm in New York City by marketing luxury homes to the most qualified buyers. What makes the difference today in your area? The same thing, custom marketing to the right buyers. In Chattanooga, the agent I trust is Cindi Richardson. Her personalized marketing plan attracts more buyers and sells more homes for more money. She can even give you an instant offer. Get the best marketing for your home. Go to rg423.com and put more money in your pocket. Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran. In Chattanooga, the agent I trust is Cindi Richardson. Her personalized marketing plan attracts more buyers and sells more homes for more money. Get the best marketing for your home. Go to rg423.com and put more money in your pocket.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Haley, quote, "Navage is the best thing I bought. I love it. My nose feels so clear now and I can breathe. I've been struggling with a stuffy nose for weeks. I bought Navage and it's amazing." Or this one, "I use Navage every night, could not imagine life without it. I have 5 cats and before I found Navage, I was a clogged mess. Now I breathe so much better." Unquote. Those are 2 of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, Navage, clean nose, healthy life.
You want your house sold for top dollar? The Richardson Group Keller Williams, Cindi Richardson's team will get it done for you. Each Keller Williams office is independently owned and operated. Google Richardson Group. That's Richardson Group. And start packing.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran. I built the #1 brokerage firm in New York City by marketing luxury homes to the most qualified buyers. What makes the difference today in your area? The same thing, custom marketing to the right buyers. In Chattanooga, the agent I trust is Cindi Richardson. Her personalized marketing plan attracts more buyers and sells more homes for more money. She can even give you an instant offer. Get the best marketing for your home. Go to rg423.com and put more money in your pocket.
Talk Radio 102.3.
Welcome back to Real Estate Today with Cindi and Jody. Thank you guys so much for being with us this morning. We've had a blast talking to you guys about should you buy now or wait until 2024 or when things change, and how to get your home ready for the spring market and just ready for spring enjoyment. So we've covered a lot of stuff today. We've covered everything from should you buy, getting your home ready, doing your regular routine maintenance. What are some of the other things that you guys do to get ready for spring, kind of when it comes to spring cleaning, things like that?
Go ahead and start decluttering. So if you know that you have items in your home that you're not going to touch in the next few months, like your Christmas decorations, things like that, go ahead and start packing it all up, because you're moving, you're going to be moving. So whether that means you are just packing it in boxes and putting it in the garage in an unfinished basement, or if you actually get some type of storage facility, go ahead and start decluttering and getting things out of the house.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing. And I think a lot of if you're looking at projects too, this is a good time to kind of jump on some of those projects. You've been stuck in the house all winter long and not been able to really get out. Now we're kind of hitting that stride of where you can get out, do things like that. So if you've got projects that you've looked at all over, I need to change that, I need to change that, I need to fix that. Now's a perfect time to go ahead and do that.
And the same way we talk about staging and getting your house ready, we want you to put your best foot forward. But at the end of the day, it's about what you enjoy. So if you love the sunroom on your house, now is really the time to get that where you're, especially if the part of your home, we love the pool, we love the backyard, we love the entertaining area, but all winter, let's be honest, it's completely neglected. So it's gross. And you've got to go out there and really use some elbow grease to get it back to where it needs to be.
Yeah.
Now, we've done a good job of keeping the pool open all year. So it's not quite the, uncover it, spend hours cleaning the pool itself, but things like I love flowers outside. I have a black thumb. Nothing survives. That's kind of the joke, but I love that part of the spring. So it looks like going through, all those flower pots and pulling up everything that's dead from last year and getting it ready. And
even if you're not going to sell, it's probably a good time to clean out and do some things to your house.
Reset, yeah.
You don't want to do all of your improvements as you're leaving because they're not going to bring dollar per dollar. So if you know that you've got to remodel your master bathroom before you sell, go ahead and do it, even if you know it's going to be a few years, so that you can get a little bit of enjoyment out of it.
The parts that you enjoy, and don't wait till you have an issue. I know a lot of people are like, oh, we need to remodel that bathroom, but it works and we're just going to use it. That's fine. Trust me, you want to remodel it now, not when you have a water leak and you need to, add another several $1,000s on to that.
We've always made it a goal of ours to do at least one type of improvement a year, one per year.
Yeah. and sometimes that's big and sometimes it's small. And that's
sometimes it might just be painting cabinets or... but something that does one type of updating or improvement per year.
What's that thing you've been putting off?
Yes. What's going to bring you the most enjoyment.
And enjoy it, and it's only going to help you when you are ready to sell.
Right.
Yeah, I think the big thing is whether you're selling or it's enjoying the home that you're in and wherever you're going.
Doing what makes you happy. Right.
Yeah, that's it. Well, guys, thanks so much for listening. If you missed a part of today's show, watch the replay of this show and others on the Richardson Group Facebook page and YouTube channel. Hey, you can also listen to us on Spotify. If you do have a real estate question, call the real estate experts of the Richardson Group at 790-7979 or visit us online at rg423.com. Thank you guys for listening. We hope you'll have a wonderful weekend and a great week.
Thanks.